All right, everyone, welcome back to the show for another deep dive. And today we're tackling something really important for anyone getting ready for the UPSC exams, especially the mains.
Definitely a crucial topic.
Yeah, we're talking about Bangladesh-Pakistan relations,
Hmm.
which, may sound a bit like maybe not the most exciting thing,
Yeah.
but it's actually undergoing some really significant changes.
Oh, absolutely. And, for the UPSC, this is gold. This is hitting on so many key areas.
Yeah.
International relations, regional dynamics in South Asia,
Right.
and then especially for anyone in India thinking about India's own security concerns,
Yeah.
this is,
Big stuff.
yeah, this is something you really need to get a handle on.
Yeah, and I mean, especially for our listeners who are, really trying to get those top marks,
Yeah.
you have to go beyond just, the basic facts.
Absolutely.
You have to really understand the nuances and the kind of the undercurrents of what's going on.
Exactly. You need to be able to analyze the situation, connect the dots, and see the bigger picture.
See the bigger picture, exactly. And that's what we're going to do today.
That's what we're here for.
So, to set the scene a little bit,
Mm.
I think it's important to remember
Yeah.
that Bangladesh and Pakistan, they don't have the friendliest history.
Right, not exactly best buds.
Not exactly best buds. I mean, Bangladesh fought a war for independence from Pakistan
1971, right?
back in 1971, exactly. And India, of course, played a huge role in supporting Bangladesh.
A pivotal role.
Yeah, so for decades after that, relations between the two countries were pretty frosty, you could say.
Definitely frosty.
But recently, things have started to warm up a little bit, and that's what's really caught everyone's attention.
And that's the really surprising part, right?
Right.
Because, you look back at the history and you think, okay,
Yeah.
there's no way these two are going to be buddy-buddy anytime soon. And
Yeah.
then suddenly you see these developments.
Yeah, like what kind of developments are we talking about here?
Well, for instance, you have Bangladesh Air Force pilots now training on the JF-17 Thunder fighter jet. Oh, wow. Okay.
Which is a joint project between China and Pakistan.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, I mean, that's not something you do with just any country.
Right, like you're sharing some pretty sensitive military technology there.
Absolutely. It signals a real level of trust and cooperation.
So it's not just like, a friendly handshake. It's like real military cooperation.
Exactly. And it's not just the Air Force either. We're seeing the Bangladesh Army receiving training from Pakistani officials as well.
Okay, so it's across the board.
Yeah, it's a broader trend.
And I also read something about them participating in a joint naval exercise.
Oh, yeah. Aman 2025. It's a multinational naval exercise, but it's
Yeah.
being hosted by Pakistan in Karachi, and Dhaka is planning to participate.
Wow. So from, former tormentor to joint military exercises, that's a pretty big jump.
It is, and it raises a lot of questions.
Yeah, like what's driving this change? I mean, is it like a genuine, desire for peace and reconciliation? Well, there are a few different factors at play. But one major development that we have to consider is the change in government in Bangladesh.
Right. New
So-
government, new priorities.
Exactly. So the previous Awami League government, led by Sheikh Hasina, they were very much aligned with India.
Okay.
But now, under the leadership of Mohammed Yunus, we're seeing a different approach, a different direction in foreign policy.
So it's like a recalibration of their relationships.
Exactly.
It's okay, so new government, new relationships. But how does this new direction, how does this impact India?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right? Because India and Bangladesh have had such a close relationship.
Well, India has always relied on Bangladesh as a reliable partner, especially when it comes to security in the Northeast.
Right, because that's a really sensitive area for India.
Absolutely. It's a vulnerable flank, you could say.
And having a friendly Bangladesh on that border is crucial for India's security.
Exactly. They've worked together to combat terrorism, manage the border, keep things stable in that region.
So if Bangladesh is getting closer to Pakistan, does that create a potential security problem for India?
It certainly raises some concerns.
Like what kind of concerns are we talking about?
Well, remember, Pakistan has a history of supporting insurgent groups in northeast India.
Right. Yeah.
And some of those groups have found safe havens in Bangladesh in the past.
Mm.
Now, with Bangladesh and Pakistan getting closer, there are worries that this cooperation on counterterrorism might weaken.
So like a potential resurgence of militancy in the Northeast?
It's a possibility, and it's something that India is watching very carefully.
Can you give us some specific examples of these groups and their connections to Pakistan? Because I think that would help our listeners understand the gravity of the situation.
Absolutely. One prime example is the United Liberation Front of Assam, or ULFA.
ULFA, right?
They've been fighting for an independent Assam for decades, and they have deep-rooted ties with Pakistan's intelligence agency, the ISI.
Wait, so we're talking about a group that wants to break away from India and they're getting support from Pakistan.
It's a complicated situation.
That's a bit of a geopolitical thriller right there.
It has all the elements.
Yeah.
And here's where it gets even more interesting. In the past, there have been allegations that even Bangladesh's own intelligence agency, the Directorate General of Forces Intelligence, or DFI, was involved in training ULFA cadres.
Hold on. Are you saying that Bangladesh was helping train a group that wants to break away from India?
There have been those allegations, yes.
That's pretty wild.
It highlights the complexity of the situation.
And what about that Chittagong arms haul case back in 2004? Wasn't that linked to ULFA in Pakistan as well?
Oh, yeah, that was a huge case. A massive cache of weapons was intercepted in Bangladesh, rocket launchers, assault rifles, the whole works.
Wow.
And investigations revealed that it was all meant for ULFA with clear links back to Pakistan's ISI.
So this isn't just ancient history. We're talking about active networks here.
Exactly. These connections, these relationships, they run deep and they have the potential to really destabilize the region.
It's like a powder keg waiting to go off.
Yeah, and now with this shift in Bangladesh's foreign policy, it's like someone's playing with matches.
And it's not just the security angle either, right? I mean, this whole rapprochement between Bangladesh and Pakistan also has economic implications.
Oh, absolutely.
You can't separate the two.
Economics and security, they're always intertwined.
Always. And for anyone prepping for the UPSC, this is a key point to remember.
Right, because they love to ask questions that connect those dots.
Yeah, they want to see that you understand the bigger picture, that you're not just looking at things in isolation.
So let's talk economics then. Pakistan sees Bangladesh as a potential market for their goods and services. Right.
Huge potential, a rapidly growing economy. I mean, Bangladesh is on the move, and Pakistan wants to get a piece of that action.
And they've already started taking steps to boost trade, haven't they?
Yeah, they're easing visa restrictions, removing trade barriers, all those kind of things to make it easier to do business.
So Pakistan is basically saying, hey, Bangladesh, let's be friends. Let's make some money together.
That's the general idea. And what about Bangladesh? What's in it for them?
Well, for Bangladesh, it's about diversification. They don't want to put all their eggs in one basket, so to speak.
Right. They don't want to be too reliant on any one country.
Exactly. India has been their biggest trading partner, but they want to expand their options, explore new avenues.
And Pakistan fits that bill.
Yeah. Plus, don't forget, China is a major player in all of this, too.
Oh, right. China, the elephant in the room, or should we say the dragon?
The dragon is a better analogy.
So China's got their Belt and Road Initiative going on.
That massive infrastructure project, yeah.
Pouring billions of dollars into it.
Exactly. And both Bangladesh and Pakistan are key players in that whole scheme.
How so?
Well, geographically, they're strategically located. Bangladesh has access to the Bay of Bengal.
Yeah.
Pakistan has Gwadar Port overlooking the Arabian Sea.
So they're like crucial nodes in this global trade network that China's building.
Precisely. And China is investing heavily in both countries, building ports, roads, energy pipelines, you name it.
So it's not just about, helping them out. It's about strategic advantage.
Absolutely. Those investments, they come with strings attached.
Like what kind of strings?
Well, it creates economic dependencies, strengthens China's political influence, and gives them leverage in security matters as well.
So while India is trying to figure out how to deal with this Bangladesh-Pakistan thing, China's over there quietly building its own empire.
It complicates things for India, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's like a double whammy.
Yeah.
They've got this new challenge from Pakistan and Bangladesh getting closer, and then they've got China breathing down their neck.
It's a delicate balancing act for India.
So what can they do? How do they respond to all of this?
Well, there are a few different schools of thought on that.
Okay.
Some analysts say that India needs to engage with Bangladesh more proactively, really work on strengthening that relationship, address their concerns, and reassure them that they're a valued partner.
So basically like some diplomatic hand-holding.
Yeah, exactly. Show them that you care, that you're listening.
And the other school of thought?
The other school of thought is that India needs to focus on its own strength, build up its economic and military muscle to deter any potential threats.
So basically project power.
Yeah, show that you're not to be trifled with.
So it's like a carrot and stick approach.
Yeah, a bit of both.
But it's not just about Bangladesh and Pakistan, right? I mean, we can't forget about China. They're the big wild card in all of this.
The dragon in the room.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are China's strategic objectives here? What are they trying to achieve in South Asia?
Well, China's playing the long game here. They've got big ambitions in South Asia.
Yeah. Like what kind of ambitions are we talking about? World domination?
Maybe not world domination, but definitely regional influence. They want to be the top dog in Asia, and that includes South Asia.
And how does this whole Bangladesh-Pakistan thing fit into that?
It's all connected. Remember we were talking about the Belt and Road Initiative?
Oh, right, that massive infrastructure project?
Exactly. And Bangladesh and Pakistan are key pieces of that puzzle.
Because of their location.
Exactly. They're strategically located. Bangladesh, with access to the Bay of Bengal, Pakistan, with Gwadar Port on the Arabian Sea. They're like gateways to the Indian Ocean.
And China wants to control those gateways.
Control might be a strong word, but they definitely want to have a strong presence there. They want to be able to influence the flow of trade and resources through those regions.
So they're building ports and roads and all that stuff to kind of cement their influence.
Exactly. And it's working those investments. They create economic dependencies, and that translates into political influence.
So it's like a win-win for China. They get access to these strategically important locations, and they also get to boost their own economy.
It's a smart strategy. You have to give them that.
So where does that leave India? I mean, it sounds like they're getting squeezed from all sides.
It's a challenging situation for sure. They've got to be smart about how they respond.
So what's the smart move here?
Well, it's a complex issue. There's no easy answer.
Okay, but let's try to simplify it a bit for our UPSC aspirants. What are the key takeaways from all of this? What should they be focusing on for their exams?
All right, so for all you future diplomats out there, here's the cheat sheet. Pay attention to regional dynamics. Things change quickly in South Asia. You have to be able to analyze those shifts, understand the motivations of the key players.
So basically, know your history, know your players.
Exactly. And then don't forget about the security challenges. This whole Bangladesh-Pakistan thing has the potential to create some serious headaches for India, especially in the Northeast.
Right, like we were talking about ULFA and all those groups.
Exactly. Those groups haven't gone away. They're just waiting for an opportunity to resurface.
And Pakistan might be willing to give them that opportunity.
It's a possibility. India has to be prepared for that.
And then, of course, there's the economic angle. We can't forget about that.
Economics always plays a role in international relations.
Bangladesh and Pakistan, they're both looking for new economic partners, and China's right there waving a big bag of money,
It's hard to say no to that.
especially when you're trying to develop your economy.
Exactly. So India has to be competitive. They have to offer something compelling if they want to keep Bangladesh and Pakistan in their orbit.
It's like a giant game of Risk.
Yeah, with real-world consequences.
So basically what you're saying is that the UPSC loves to ask about this kind of stuff.
Absolutely. They want to see that you understand the complexities of international relations, that you can analyze a situation and draw your own conclusions.
So if you want to ace those exams, you better be paying attention.
No kidding. This stuff is important, and it's not just for exams either. This is real-world knowledge that can help you understand the world around you.
And maybe even shape it one day. Who knows? Maybe some of our listeners will end up as diplomats or policymakers.
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be awesome. So to all our aspiring diplomats out there, keep studying, keep learning, and most importantly, keep thinking critically.
Don't just accept what you read, question it, analyze it, form your own opinions.
And don't be afraid to challenge the status quo. Sometimes the best solutions come from thinking outside the box.
Absolutely. Be bold, be creative, and most importantly, be informed.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive.
Time flies when you're talking geopolitics.
It really does. But before we go, I want to remind everyone to like and subscribe to the show if you found this episode helpful.
And share it with your friends, your family, your study buddies, everyone who might benefit from this knowledge.
Spread the word, and let's all become more informed citizens of the world together. Thanks for listening, everyone.
Until next time, stay curious.